Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In the last episode of this habitat management series, we checked out the results of the controlled burn we did here on the farm. We went down in the pines to see what kind of results we had down there. Then we walked around the hillside to see if we were able to take control of that multiflora rose and honeysuckle that was dominating. After a few days of smoldering, we were able to get to some of those other tasks we were wanting to do. What is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, in the last episode, I was talking all about the control burn that we did here. Now we are kind of transitioning over from the phase 1 to phase 2. I am still in the observation phase down in the pines, trying to figure out exactly what happened as a result of the burn, try to figure out what survived, what didn't, and come up with a plan for down there. But now, over here on the hillside, the area that got burned, I have got to do something about it soon. We've got rain coming in the next 3 days. So what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to get down here. My daughter's going to help me. And I've went out and I've bought a variety of clover. So this is out in the field. This is full sunlight area. I'm trying to get I would like to get a perennial plant, perennial, forage in there for the deer and turkeys to have. And clover is always one that I love to use. So perennial means it's going to come back year after year. I don't have to reseed it every year. But what we're going to do is I'm going to get up here, I'm going to mix up the blend of clover. It's most likely going to be a Dutch white clover, a red clover, a yellow sweet clover, and probably throw a little bit of crimson clover in there as well. And we're going to broadcast spread it down here in the field area where it's going to get full sunlight. Everything was burned. Everything is black. Everything was burned up. So I'm hoping to get a lot of fast, sufficient seed to soil contact. And with this rain coming in, hopefully we're going to get fast germination. That means it's going to give a good spring through summer food source for the deer. Hopefully, if I get it in there heavy enough, it will offset any weeds and things that are trying to come up. Clover can sometimes choke out other stuff, which a lot of people that live in subdivisions and places don't care for that. Out here, since I'm trying to plant the clover for the wildlife benefit, that doesn't bother me. That's actually a pro of the benefit of having clover. So I'm going to get up here. I'm going to get this stuff mixed up. We're going to get here and we'll get this spread. And then I'll go show you the food plot area that I'm going to get worked on too. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to mix up the seed blend that we're going to use here. So I'm actually going to throw in a little bit of chicory. This chicory seed is, wow, 4 years old. I've been using a little bit every year in the food plots. I'm going to go ahead and throw some in. It's not too late. We still have, there's a chance we're going to get back down into freezing temperatures again next week. So we're going to hit nearly 80 degrees today. Then we're going to be 81 and 84 over the next 3 days. And then we're going to drop back down into the 50s with nighttime lows around 34, 33 degrees. So there's still time to get these cooler weather crops out. So I'm going to put a little bit of chicory in here. And this stuff actually is still germinating, even though it's 4 years old. A lot of people think you have to go buy new seeds every year, but that's not the case. This is some crimson clover, same thing. This is actually 5 years old. Whoa, the wind's picking up here. I'm just going to dump all that in there. Hey, baby, put that over. Baby's my daughter, so she's sitting right there. So that is the crimson clover. Take it in the basement. I'm going to use that to put the leftover seed in after a while because that's a really good bag. This is some Dutch white clover. Mix that in there. Here, Taryn, here's you another one. You can put both of those over there because the wind's going to blow stuff away otherwise. So we got that. And then what I've got here is I picked up just a little bit of red clover. And then there's this sweet yellow clover that I had never heard of, but my neighbor, Jack, who's been on a lot of the farm videos with us, he loves this sweet yellow clover, so he convinced me to get it. He says it gets, 18, 24 inches tall, so I have no idea. I've never seen it, have no experience with it, so we're going to give it a go and see what happens. I'm just going to blend a little bit of that in here. There you go, Taryn. And then I'm going to mix this red clover in, and then I'm going to hand stir it. And then, Taryn, when we're done, can you bring me your cedar there, and I'm going to show them what you're going to use. I didn't remember the red clover seed that I bought before being, maybe they dyed it. Oh yeah, it's been coated. I hope it doesn't say if it's an inoculant or not, but it's been coated so the way you know it's the red clover. There you go, baby. Can you hand me your seeder when you get a second? All right, so she's just going to go through, since this is not going to take a lot. Clover is very tiny seeds, and it covers, it doesn't take a whole lot to cover a large area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it here in this bucket. I'm going to carry the bucket with us, and then she's going to use this seeder to go through and just overseed in the area where we're going to go down in the burn. I've got it set to the smallest opening. There's actually a throttle on here where you can actually adjust how much it feeds. And so I've got it set down to the smallest, so when it cracks open, actually I may have to go one spot different. Yeah, going up to number 2, because this crimson clover seed is a bit larger and it wouldn't fit through the number 1 setting. So I've jacked it up to number 2, and so I'm going to hand stir this. We're going to get down here, we'll get some video going, and then we'll get this burn overseeded, get it locked in. Now don't pull the trigger yet.
I'm holding it forward.
And so I can refill you here in a minute, okay? There's enough for probably one more load. So you're just going to kind of walk through, cranking and pull the trigger back, and you're going to spread it, like hit this area first. You'll be able to see where the seeds are flying to as you're cranking it. The faster you crank it, the farther they'll throw, okay? So you're just going to start walking. Just, you're going to have to adjust. If you're going through an area like this where it's tighter, you're going to want to slow down so it's not throwing the seed over into the grassy areas. You were wanting to concentrate the seed into the burn areas. Okay? So just start walking up through here and then hook and go on around over through there and just wander your way around, and then I'll refill you here in a minute, okay? All right. Yep, whenever you're ready. You see it coming out? Okay. Did a good job doing that. So you said you went back and forth over the area a couple times, right? We're done with seeding this for now. We got to pack all of our stuff back up to the top. But then, actually, before I do that, I may hook around and go over here to the food plot area and go show you that. So let's go see where we see next. All right, we moved up the hill. We're up on top now. We're up here on a large, I say a large, it's about a 2-acre flat right here on the very top of the ridge. My house is up on the very top. The burn was just off the crest of the ridge down here below us. So and my uncle's burn is just right over there, 50, 60 yards away. My burn is probably 75 yards away down the hill over here. You can see here beside me, I went through today and I plowed up this area. I've been working this spot here as a food plot now for 4 to 5 years. In the past, I always worked it with either a disc or what we call a ripper, which I think it's the same thing as a 9-way cultivator. But so it works up really well. I actually had my summer food plot here last year, and there was nothing else there in the fall. I bush hogged it all down, and so when I came through today with the plow, it just fell all to pieces. I mean, it just rolled over and just ruptured into just, you know, loose dirt. It's fantastic. This is actually, according to my neighbor Jack, who was up here watching the burn with us, he was telling me that 50 years ago or so, this flat right here was where my family had a large garden. They would grow turnips here, they'd grow potatoes here, they grew corn here, they grew tobacco here. They had all kinds of stuff right here. He says he tells me this is the richest soil on my property, and I have no reason to doubt that. And just looking at it, it looks like it's definitely the richest soil. I mean, it is dark brown, whereas up beside my house, it is red clay and rocks, great big enormous rocks. This has got some rocks in it still, but there's huge piles of rocks over in the edge of the woods here beside me, man-made piles of rocks. And Jack was telling me that my dad and my uncles, and even he's a distant cousin, they all moved all those rocks by hand for many, many years as they would plow this area, with a horse-drawn plow. And so they'd put the work in all those years to clear this area of rocks. Now there is a walnut tree here, and I did hit some big walnut roots in here because this area hadn't been worked in about 50 years. So So what you can't see, you see this food plot right here, or you see this plowed area right here beside me. I got to decide if I'm gonna make this food plot or use this for my garden because it is such rich soil. Over here to the other side is I came through and I plowed another area that's about the same exact size as this one, with a driving path down the middle. This over here is an area that I have not worked before myself, and so it is loaded with roots and it's got clumpy grass, and it did not break apart the way it did. So, well, wouldn't you know it, but the wireless mic that I was using making that clip, it decided to just crap out on me halfway through. After working all day long, it just started making a weird static sound and ended up losing the whole second half of that clip that I was trying to explain more about why I was plowing that area and my long-term strategy. So I'll actually cover that more in a future video with probably using this mic. This is actually a new mic instead of the old mic that I was using that has been giving me some issues. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you've got any food plots going on, any kind of habitat or property management efforts that you got going on, habitat improvement efforts you got going on for wildlife. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. I am so very close to 2,000 subscribers right now. I never imagined that this hobby that I just enjoy doing and sharing with everybody would get to this point. I mean, I realize it's not huge or anything, but I never imagined that there'd be 2,000 people that would kind of enjoy seeing any of this stuff that I'm making. So thank you all so much for coming along. I really appreciate it. And I wish you a wonderful week. God bless.